everyone. Thanks again for tuning into Zin's workshop. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about Crown of Coral and Pearl by Mara Rutherford. For some reason, that is a title that twists my tongue. Maybe I just need to go back and watch My Fair Lady so I can talk properly. But whatever. Anyway, that's relevant. And you know why? Because this book is about challenging what makes a woman valuable. In fact, what Rutherford does is she kind of tears down this notion that beauty is everything, that women are only valuable for their beauty and womanly duties. So she kind of takes this idea and she's just like rips it apart. And I like that. I appreciate that. I think in today's society, we put a lot of pressure on being beautiful. You know, I think as a society, we've put so much pressure on this idea of what it means to be beautiful when honestly, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. As long as you are beautiful to yourself, I think that is the most important thing, because I think we are put on this world for our own selves. We shouldn't have to change to conform to meet other people's standards. I'm me, and I don't expect anyone else to be like me, you know? And that's what I like about this story. I like how it takes this notion and it flips it on its head. And it really just delves into a sisterly bond as well while it tears down this notion. So it follows twins, Noor and Zadie. They live on the ocean village of Verenia. And pretty much they cannot touch land. And no one in this village can touch land. Just think Final Fantasy X or Waterworld. You know, the village is on the ocean. They live on the ocean. They've got rafts everywhere make up this place. So, the only way they can step on land is, and it's only one person who can step on land. It is the most beautiful woman, because she gets to marry the crown prince on the mainland. That's her prize. Everyone, for being the most beautiful woman, they get to go on land. This all stems from this legend surrounding their peoples. Prince kidnapped, ran away with the princess, and she died at sea. So this is their punishment. They are not allowed to set foot on land. What I do like is how Rutherford, she tells you this legend, right? You think that's it. No, actually, there's more to the legend. As the story goes on, we get to discover more and more about this legend. And we also get to discover how these two people, the people from the mainland, the people from Verenia, how they view this legend and how they interpret it. Because they interpret it differently. And I think that that's really interesting. These two people who live so close together, they're going to be farther apart. And I like that. I liked this legend, and I like how it's not just clear and cut, you know? There's more to it, and it has such an effect on the fantasy of the story. It has such an effect on these characters as they grow and develop and are unraveling the mysteries of like the red coral and the pink pearl. So the red coral is poisonous. It's poisonous reef. If you get scratched by it, you're more than likely to die. The pink pearl, on the other hand, those are rare and they have a really strong healing abilities. So, Noor and Zadie, once again, they're twins. And they love each other. But Noor has a scar. I believe it's around here. She got scarred saving her sister, and she got scarred from red coral, and she's alive, you know. Very rare. She had a fever. Everyone was there, oh, she's gonna die. She survived. So she has a very strong will to her. We see that very early on. She has such a love and devotion for her sister. Her sister loves the village chief's son, and he loves her back. So she doesn't want to go off to marry this prince, who, by the way, is sadistic. There's something seriously wrong with him. But a little bit more on that later. So they come up with a plan. Zadie hurts herself. She scars herself. And the village is like, oh no, what are we going to do now? They send Noor in her place. Now this puts her at odds with her community because she has endangered her community. And what's also interesting is her scar has really put her at odds with her community and her mother. So you're really seeing how detrimental this idea that beauty is everything, that beauty is all your worth is in this society, because it's very cutthroat and it really damages Noor's relationship with her mother and with the fellow women in her community. Because now they all think, oh, she just scarred her sister so she can get away. This is all her fault. She's going to be the end of us all, blah, 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 blah. But even with her scar, she's still viewed as beautiful. And everyone is in an uproar. And her mother grew up with this toxic notion that your beauty is everything. You are nothing without your beauty. The scar means you are nothing now. And that's kind of how she's grown up. And she's really everyone really has spent their entire lives trying to build this wedge between the twin girls. But their bond and their devotion to one another is really intense, and I really like that. I love how these two sisters risk everything because of their love for one another. I love how they are powerful, how they are compelling. I love how they, in a way, defy everyone and stand up for themselves. Does it put the community at risk? Yes, it does, unfortunately. But it's still not right how these girls are treated. And I like how Mara Rutherford she shows this toxic world. She shows us as readers just how malignant and toxic this idea that you are only worth how people view you. I like how she highlights that it is wrong. We are more than what we look like. We should be valued for not just our look, but everything else that makes us, our intelligence, our cleverness, our wit, our humor, all of these things. We should be valued for who we are inside and not how we look on the outside. And I like how she takes this notion and flips it on its head and highlights that and highlights how detrimental it is. So I really did appreciate that storytelling. Now, as for the characters themselves, I do like the characterization. Once again, the sisterly bond is there. The romance, I feel, is not Zadie's romance. I think the romance between her and the chief's son, I think that was well done, thought out. But the other romance between Noor and the prince's half-brother, it felt predictable, for one, but I don't think there was really good build into it. I feel like there needs to be more depth and richness in their dynamic as a whole. I really do think that the story lost some of its charm with that romance aspect because it needed to be developed a little bit more. It needed a little bit more substance. Now, as for the prince, he's sadistic. He needs to go. Okay, this guy is just terrible. He's a terrible human being. He does so many horrific things. And really, he does them for shock value. But they're pretty twisted, what he does. And he shouldn't be the crown prince. Like, ow. But I like his character development. you get to see, like, at first you don't really think he's gonna be as twisted as he is, but then the slow development, the things he does, they just get bolder and bolder throughout the story, and by the end you're like, wow, this guy needs to go. But he was written really well. That's what I liked, He was terrifying and sadistic, but you were still captivated by it's like how we're all captivated with Mr. J. He's no Mr. J, in case you're wondering. He's not a Joker. Maybe more of a Victor Zsasz? Yeah, I would say Victor Zsasz. Yeah, I would say that. He's more of a Victor Zsasz, in case anyone reads Batman comics or has watched the Gotham TV show. He's Victor. Yeah, you're just kind of compelled to see just how deranged he is and follow, like, what has made you this way. That's what you're compelled to read. That's really where all the interest comes in. So I do like this villainous character. I do think that there was a lot of development to him, and that I wonder. I don't want to spoil anything. So I do like that, and I like his that final confrontation between him and Nora. I think that was really well done. It was executed really well. There's lots of high tension. There's lots of high pace. At the end, I was just like, I needed to read it. I couldn't put it down near the end. And that ending was jaw-dropping. I will say that. I just think the romance on Nora's part, her romance with not the prince, but, the prince's half-brother. I'm not really sure what he's called. I think it needed more work. But ultimately, you know what? I enjoyed the story. I do like the depth to it. I like the dynamics, that sisterly bond. And I do like the villain. He's really interesting. So I was intrigued. So I'm going to go ahead and give Crown of Coral and Pearl 4 stars. Didn't quite blow me away. It needs a little bit more work with the romance department, but ultimately it is captivating and engaging. And I love the fantasy. I like how the fantasy is developed throughout the story. You get a sense of what it is in the beginning and how it connects to this legend, but near the end, when we're really focusing on why the women of Vernia are so beautiful, why the people of Vernia live so long, whereas everyone on the mainland is just kind of sickly and pale and die real young. There is a mystery there that needs to be solved, and it's not solved in this novel. But I want to know what's going to happen next, so I really want to read the sequel, and I'm hoping I get to it soon. So once again, Crown of Coral and Pearl, 4 stars. Please support your local bookseller by purchasing the book at your local retailer, bookstore retailer, or on bookshop.org. There will be a link in the description below. If money's tight, or if you're just not sure, please check out the book from your local library. And if you end up liking the book, please purchase it and review it. Either or. That is the best way that you can support the author. And on that note, I hope you all will support me by liking this video and subscribing to this channel. And please don't forget to share with all your book loving friends. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and as always, happy reading.